Let's go. I'm unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible, yet I'm phenomenal. I got an arsenal, I'm dropping bombs, you know. No, I'm not stopping, no. Conquer the obstacle. To the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be the king of rock, think the people have spoken. I can hear the tick-tock of the clock, I'm in motion. So now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion.
Because our first subject tonight is we're a little, well, actually less than a week away now from the 2021 NFL draft, and I thought it would be, and I thought it would be kind of fun to have each one of us, because we all kind of have a team we like to follow in the NFL. I guess, I can start a little bit, and then maybe we can move around, and then you can tell us your team, and maybe kind of what you think they're either going to do, what you'd like to see them do in the draft, and just kind of give us your overall thoughts on maybe what you think might happen. So just to start, obviously I'm a Colts fan. You can see by my hat, and obviously I like the color blue. That kind of was a little bit with the graphic design a little bit.
What he's saying is he cripping on the side.
Yeah. But, as a Colts fan, I think the Colts are set up pretty well going into the next year. I think, obviously, trading for Carson Wentz was a good move. It's a wait-and-see approach.
You hope.
Hope. Well, yeah, that's what I was about to say. I hope so. Obviously, there's a little trepidation there with, his injury, risk. But I think, the year he had his best season when he was an MVP talent, the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl after he got hurt, he had Frank Reich as his offensive coordinator. So now that Frank Reich is the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, I think it makes all the sense in the world for Frank to grab his guy and bring him in. And if he can stay healthy, he can have that type of season, I hope, again, because he's got a better offensive line now. He's got a better run game, and he might have had a good defense in Philly and stuff like that, too, when they won the Super Bowl. But this is the best team he's going to have in a while. Now, when it comes to the Colts' needs, I think left tackle is a priority because they lost Anthony Costanzo to retirement. And I think they're a little weak at receiver, so I think receiver outside of T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman, who we drafted last year, and Paris Campbell, who also needs to prove it this year because he's been hurt the first 2 years of his career. So maybe a left tackle receiver and maybe a little bit at edge rusher for sure, because that's one thing we don't have. We got DeForest Buckner there on the defensive line, but nobody to go around the edge like your Freeney and Mathis of old. Other than that, I think the defense is pretty solid. So and the run game is, I think, one of the better, trios, possibly 4-man groups in the league. So I'm high hopes for this year, but we'll see what they do. But that's just kind of my thoughts on the Colts. But how about we go to Brandon next, if he's okay with that? And Brandon, tell us your team and what you kind of maybe like to see him do moving forward.
Listen, I live in a house divided, so it is what it is with that. I myself am a Colts fan also, but in this household, I am overruled by the majority of this household, which unfortunately for me are all Pittsburgh Steelers fans.
Except for my nephew.
Except for my oldest son, Jaden. He's like the only oddball of the group. I don't know why he likes the Panthers. No, I know why he likes the Panthers. I can tell you why he likes the Panthers.
Uncle likes
because it got to him before the rest of us did, and bought him a Panthers jersey.
Bribery, yeah.
He did. He bought him a Panthers jersey, and then he bought him. He still has that damn Cam Newton statue in his fucking room too.
Hey, we ain't got to New England yet.
We should just leave New England out of this conversation.
I
anyway,
wanted to make sure that you.
And so
that's all.
But so for me, I'm looking at the same things you are looking at as far as the Colts go. Pittsburgh though, because I do follow Pittsburgh because I don't have fucking choice. So. Pittsburgh to me, what I'm worried about with them as far as anything really is how they're going to do at quarterback if Ben's going to play another year.
He is.
Are they going to get somebody else to back him up? And what's their receiving line going to look like? I know Juju signed on for another year, right? Is it another year?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's 1 year.
Besides Juju, who is not bad, but he's not great either. Who else?
He's got a bit of an ego about him, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
Bad
guy.
That's what you get for hanging around Antonio Brown.
Listen, enough from at least the clown won a fucking Super Bowl.
And then they lost James Conner too to Seattle, I believe.
Yeah.
So
And he was, man, I don't, dude, James Conner had mad respect for me. You know, coming back from what he came back from, and he worked his ass off during that season where the whole thing with Le'Veon Bell. But I'm interested to see what they do this year. Real quick, before I forget this, though, John Barkis, I know you've seen the videos. I'm gonna let you know right now. The Dolphins ain't gonna do shit. Okay, let's just get that
oh
out
wow,
Dolphins?
a coworker of ours at work.
Huge Dolphins fan. He's watched 2 of the podcasts.
Oh, cool.
So far. So,
Well, then hit that like and subscribe, Barkis.
I want him to see this one, just so John, they ain't gonna do shit. Let it go. I'm tired of hearing about it.
Yeah, John, I don't even know you and they ain't gonna do shit.
All right. Unlike these 3, I have a child and I have to deal with a situation. So continue talking amongst yourselves.
All right. Well, while you do that, we'll move on to Tony, who is. I'll let you tell. So you go ahead.
I am a Carolina Panthers fan. I have not been very happy with the way they have done things the last few years. I felt they dispatched Cam Newton very, very shitty like. But with that being said, we got old Teddy Bridgewater last year, and that was a bust. And now we have Sam from the Jets.
That's right. Yeah.
So what do we do with Teddy? Rumor is there's a few teams that are interested. That's great, and that's fine. We are at number 8 in the draft this year, and also they've said that if there's a quarterback that they're looking for, which, they have one in mind, if he falls at number 8, they're probably going to pick him. I myself, I think they're going to try and get Justin Fields. I'm not a big Ohio State fan. No Ohio State quarterback, to my recollection, has ever come into the NFL and been successful.
Can't remember.
I can't think of one.
Yeah, off the top of my head.
So honestly, I would like to see. I'd like to see the tight end Kyle Pitts. That's who I would like to see, because we have not had someone successfully replace Greg Olsen. I know we have the name. I cannot think of that young man's name from IU. Shit.
Yeah,
he's a tight end.
Off the top of my head, I can't either.
But we need a good tight end. We really do. Cornerback is another position. I know we've the rumor is possibly taking Asante Samuel Jr. in 2nd or 3rd round, because they believe he'll still be there. But if I could have my choice, I would like to take Kyle Pitts at number 8.
Okay, all right. Solid plan, I think. I think a lot of it will hinge on Sam Darnold. Clearly, obviously, if you get. Let's see. What Christian McCaffrey hurt most of last season, if not all of it.
He was.
So if that's the case, that right there is your offense. And if you can get, and you've got some good young receivers, as you mentioned, with Curtis Samuel. And if, Darnold can do well, I think, that's going to pick up that offense drastically.
Yeah.
But that's the key. Kind of like with the Wentz situation in Indianapolis. It's going to flow how Wentz goes. And same with Darnold, I think, a little bit too. And I can't remember what all did they give up for Darnold? Do you remember?
Not much. I think it was like a 4th or 5th round pick this year, and then maybe a 2nd round pick next year. I think it was 2 picks total. We really didn't come out too bad for that, to be honest.
Okay, well, that's not too bad. That's kind of like the Colts too. They think they only give up a 3rd and a 2nd that could turn into a 1st, but that all depends on playing time. So again, low cost, high reward. So that's good for for both teams. And we'll move on to Damon now. The last but not least, a part of this segment here. Tell us who your team is, and I'll be interested to hear what you have to say about this team, because they're not one of my favorites, but to each their own.
New England.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck.
Wow, just kind of.
Wow.
I know you were never the biggest Tom Brady fan. Am I correct?
No.
Okay.
I was not the biggest Brady fan.
Okay. But
I'm not a Cam Newton fan. I wish he'd just fucked right off.
Well, and to be honest, he did not have the best season last year.
He did not have the best year, though.
No.
And in defense, Edelman didn't play that much, I don't think, if I remember right. And there's really no one else outside of Edelman, which Edelman's fucking retired.
Yeah.
So my hope is they get somewhat of a good receiver out of the 1st round.
Yeah,
someone to replace Edelman. Because without Edelman, I think we're going to be hurting real bad at receivers.
Now, they did get a lot of tight ends and stuff from Tennessee. I think they got one of their tight ends or something like that. So they were definitely making some moves.
And to be quite honest, I haven't been keeping up on any of the NFL news.
I mean, it looked like they were just, cherry picking from, the Titans a little bit there when it comes to offensive players.
And it's mostly to protect Cam when he runs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is, too, the Patriots have gone fucking crazy this season with off-season pickups already. I mean, they have really picked over free agency. So,
Well,
I mean, that's what Bill does.
Yeah.
When he's in that desperate mode.
So. And to be fair to Cam Newton, last year, I mean, granted, I'm not the biggest fan of Cam either. I know, sorry, Tony, but but as of last year, to be fair, it was his first year with the new team, new system, and they didn't have an off season due to the pandemic. So in that regard, Cam did not get a full training camp, and that could have affected a lot of things. Now, granted, it was a long season, and he did look a little better at times, but he
busted his ass for them guys, man.
Agreed.
And I mean, the fact that. Yeah, you can't say that he didn't, and that's just my opinion. I mean, but
dude was in phenomenal shape when the season started too. Because I remember seeing pictures of him; he was just jacked. So I mean, he was in great shape. But sometimes,
for me, it's the showboatiness.
Yeah, I can agree with that part of it, a little bit. But I mean, there's a lot of that.
I watched early games where he'd have wide open receivers and he would just fucking run.
Mm-hmm. And some of that could be, Belichick trying to, play to his strengths, which I get.
That's what Bill's known for, especially with Brady. Everyone complains about, he only throws the short passes. Well, yeah,
but he's effective.
That's what he's best at.
Yeah.
That's Bill playing to his strengths. Because there were times you see Brady fucking bomb it down the field, and it was still good.
Yeah, he was still doing that last year in Tampa Bay, where he was just dropping dimes in the end zone. I'm going, man.
He was throwing them deep though. But let's be honest, Brady didn't have the start off of the best season of the year. I mean, he was losing to teams they should have beaten.
Yeah,
I think it took a little while for that team to gel, for sure.
Yeah, and with Brady bombing it, it helps when you have a 6'5" receiver in Mike Evans,
and then Chris Godwin on the the other side, plus Gronk in the middle.
And he's got the tall receivers, he'll bomb it. But in New England, they have generally not gone with tall receivers.
Yeah, that's for sure. Now, they've got a couple young guys there. I would assume they're going to try to develop them. But I think the thing that New England needs the most is they got to get back to their winning defenses. Because that was their bread and butter when they were winning Super Bowls and stuff. And as long as Belichick and Robert Kraft are there, and Kraft's not selling that team anytime soon, as long as they're there, I consider them contenders no matter what year it is, even without Brady. So we'll see how they rebound. It's still going to take a little time.
We thought that last year too. And
that's true. But Brady, did cover up a lot of holes. And I think, given some time, as much as I don't care for New England as a Colts fan, I got to give them credit where it's due. They do know how to win when the time counts. So, all right, well, let's move on.
For last year.
Yeah, except for last year, I suppose.
Yeah, ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right, I swear to God that I can drop you, bro. Yeah, I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable.